You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Sunday the 19th of April, 2026. It is 30 days after the spring equinox. It is 63 days before the summer solstice. And it is 3 days before Earth Day. The sun rises today at 6:11 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:55 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:39 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 8:08 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 8:43 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes 32 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 7% full at midday. The moon rises today at 7:08 a.m., and then it sets at 10:59 p.m. The moon reaches its monthly perigee at 2:57 a.m. today. The first quarter will arrive on Thursday, the 23rd of April. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the middle of the night, high tide, 12:05 a.m., 1 meter 92. In the morning, low tide, 6:21 a.m., minus 12 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 12:40 p.m., 1 meter 62. In the evening, low tide, 6:29 p.m., 6 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, the streets have gone almost entirely green, as last week has seen almost all the remaining trees burst to life. Thornless honey locusts and black locusts along Broadway and on Vernon have leafed out, as have the Japanese pagoda trees on 32nd Street. The pin oaks have also woken up, and they are dumping pollen at an alarming rate. Cars under those trees are covered in a fine dusting of yellow-green pollen, while the streets are littered with discarded catkins. Looking down the streets, you see the great arches of trees, our urban forest, reaching across, and as the heat begins to assert itself, they now provide welcome shade. Commemorations. On this day in 1775, the battles of Lexington and Concord took place in Massachusetts, the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. A somber anniversary. On this day in 1943, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising began. After the German conquest of Poland, a section of Warsaw had been walled off and more than 400,000 Jews had been detained there. After mass deportations to the death camps, only 80,000 people remained in the ghetto. But they had organized, so when the Nazis began their final roundups, the Jewish Combat Organization and the Jewish Military Union banded together, and they fought back. They held off the SS and the Nazi police for 25 days. In the end, the ghetto fell. Its inhabitants were deported to death camps, and the district was razed to the ground. Never forget. On this day, also in 1943, the Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann deliberately took a dose of LSD for the first time. He had synthesized the new drug as part of his pharmacological research, and 3 days before had accidentally discovered its psychoactive properties. On his first controlled encounter, he found the hallucinations disturbing, and he tried to ride his bicycle to the safety of home while under the influence of the drug. Hoffman considered LSD a useful tool, especially within psychoanalysis, but later he rued its profligate use in the 1960s counterculture. Enthusiasts for psychedelics celebrate today as Bicycle Day, but we can't recommend riding a bike while tripping. On this day in 1947, President Harry S. Truman officially opened a 2-lane bowling alley in the West Wing of the White House. Not much of a bowler himself, he gamely threw the first ball, knocking down 7 out of 10 pins. One of the pins is now on display at the Smithsonian Institution. Soon, staff at the Executive Mansion formed the White House Bowling League. Eisenhower closed the alley, turning it into a mimeograph room. On this day in 1965, Mayor Robert F. Wagner signed New York City's Landmarks Law. After the surprise destruction of the old Penn Station, the law ensured the Landmarks Preservation Commission could designate and protect historic structures in the city. Today kicks off National Library Week. This year's theme is Find Your Joy, and the honorary chair is Michael Threets, the new host of the PBS children's program, Reading Rainbow. There are events at libraries across the city this week, a fine time to celebrate these vital institutions and the work they do. Why not drop in and say a word of thanks to your local librarians? And that is the Observatory, Sunday the 19th of April, 2026.